With Season 2 of Rebels now concluded, we are left with the long wait until Rebels Season 3. The wait isn't made any easier because of the unanswered questions that linger on our minds. Let's take a look at the 10 unanswered questions from Twilight of the Apprentice that will hopefully be explored in Rebels Season 3. At the beginning of the episode, when Ezra, Ahsoka and Kanan arrive at the large pillar with the ancient text, we see Ahsoka begin to read the text. At the same time, Ezra begins to stare at the pillar, and we hear an ominous sound which triggers him to raise his hand and touch the stone. How did Ezra know to touch the pillar? Was he able to understand the text, or was it calling out to him through the dark side of the Force? We will have to wait and see. Continuing on to the voice we hear as Ezra activates the holocron in the Sith Temple. The name of the person behind the voice is referred to as the Presence, and the voice actress is Nika Futterman, who played Asajj Ventress in the Clone Wars. While the voice she chooses to use as the Presence is very similar to Ventress, I personally don't believe it would be Ventress, who as a character would have nothing to do with an ancient Sith temple. Could it be Darth Traya? We're going to have to wait and see. Maul has returned with a new double-bladed lightsaber. The design is new and likely an entirely new build since the last time we saw Darth Maul in Son of Dathomir issue 4, he wielded only a darksaber before he was forced to retreat. So the question remains, when and how did Maul build his new lightsaber? Did he build it on Malachor, or before he arrived in search of the Sith Temple? Next up we have Kanan, who was blinded by Maul. Is Kanan possibly Rahm Kota from Legends? We have a very interesting connection because in The Force Unleashed, Rahm Kota was blinded by Galen Marek, who was voiced by Sam Witwer, who also voices Maul in the Clone Wars and Rebels. This is a pretty interesting connection, so I think it's very likely this is whose Kanan's character is or has taken inspiration from. Let's go back to Maul for a brief moment, as the last time we saw him, he was alive and flying away from Malachor. Now that Maul's plans, for now at least, have failed, as so often before, where will he go and what are his plans going to be moving forward? Will he still seek Ezra or will he move on to something new? The fate of Ahsoka is something that is heavily discussed. I myself missed the quick shot of her in the closing moments of the episode on my first viewing, but we can see her walking into a doorway, fading to black. Is this actually Ahsoka alive, or just a Force ghost, or even perhaps just a symbolic representation of Ahsoka departing the show? Personally, I would lead towards her being alive, since it would be a major disservice to the fans to kill her off screen, but we will have to wait until next season as Filoni has been very vague about her fate in a post-interview with IGN. On the same note as Ahsoka's fate, just how the hell did Vader and possibly Ahsoka survive that massive explosion? The last time we saw them, they were less than 100 meters away from the epicenter of the explosion. I myself have no idea. Maybe you guys have some thoughts about how Vader and maybe Ahsoka survived that explosion. Let's go back to the holocron. We see Ezra in the final seconds of the episode open the holocron. Maul said earlier in the episode, one must be a Sith or think like one to open a Sith holocron. As the moment takes place, we see the reflection of the red in Ezra's eyes. So how was he able to open the holocron? Has the loss of Ahsoka and the blinding of his master Kanan pushed Ezra enough that he is able to harness the darkness inside of him to open the holocron, or is there some other meaning behind it? And finally, what secrets lie inside the holocron? Will the holocron be of Revan or some other member of the Sith Triumvirate, or perhaps someone else entirely? We can only wait and see. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button. And before I let you go, check out my friend Sith Rain's YouTube channel. He does in-depth Star Wars lore videos that will give you a new insight into Star Wars characters.